camera action, it's on. New black film revolution born. Movers, shakers, big and little filmmakers. Let's make a movie today, see where it take us. Halle Berry, Denzel, and Jamie. Terrence Starr with Mike D and Spike Lee. Brand new filmmaker born every day. Put a camera in his hand and let him lead the way.
You know, Eddie Murphy, he hasn't had a movie in theaters in I think 5 or 6 years. You know,
what happened to Eddie?
I don't know if he's just been getting married and dating women and living life, or you know.
Well, how many kids he's got? 9 kids, right? Maybe that's doing it to him.
I don't know. I mean, he's been away from the screen for too long. You know, too long. You know, I know they've been sitting on. He's been attached to some things that haven't been pulled off, like the Richard Pryor biopic is now in limbo, and Beverly Hills Cop 4. You know, but his last theatrical release was 1,000 Words, which was actually sat on the shelf for a few years before its release, and then the last movie that he actually acted in until now was Tower Heist in 2011. So, you know, I guess it's you know, he's got a new movie. I'm not going to say I'm excited about this. Called Mr. Church, and it's inspired by a true story, and it's coming September 16th to theaters near you. Let's take a look at it.
Henry Joseph Church could have been anything he wanted. He chose to cook. The key, he said, jazz.
Good morning. I see you met Charlie.
Not officially. Morning, Charlotte. My name is Mr. Church.
When Mr. Church came into our lives, I wanted him gone.
I hope you don't mind. I bring books with me every place I go.
I hate reading.
But over time, I couldn't imagine life without him.
Mr. Church, I'd like to check out a book.
What kind of a deal did Richard make with you?
I was asked to cook for you and your child till you passed on.
And through it all, I never knew Mama was sick. I never knew anything until much later.
You are so beautiful.
Got accepted to Boston University.
I'm so proud of you.
Why do you care? You won't be around to see it anyway.
My mama had been the sun to me.
She always accompanied him.
And Mr. Church, he was like the moon. Cool, calm, and always there.
Turn down the lights tonight. Moon's off.
What's gonna happen now?
But you can call Boston University and tell them that Charlotte Brooks will be attending.
It's funny how life has a way of moving forward.
I thought by now you'd be a very serious novelist.
I guess you could say we were lost after Mama died.
What are you doing?
Oh, I'm just...
Okay, now you got to go.
Sorry.
One rule and you break.
What is it with all these secrets and lies? I just wanted to know you, Mr. Church.
But wherever life takes you, and no matter how hard it gets, you can always find your way back home.
Surprise! Aren't you gonna ask me how it happened?
I know how girls get pregnant, Charlotte.
Come on, Charlie. You can't go living with your cook forever.
My cook? Richard set aside enough money for Mama to live 6 months. Do you know who paid all of our bills all those years after that? Mr. Church. He saved us.
Do you have a place to stay?
She lives with me. You gave me the most important thing life can offer. You gave me a family.
Okay, well, all right. I want Conspiracy Brothers' take on this one.
Come here, brother. Come here. Conspiracy brother, come here. What you think about this? Oh, brother, here we go again. Here we go again. This ain't nothing but some more Magic Negro BS. Sick of it. Sick of it, man. They always got some brother raising some white girls, taking care of some white folks. They ain't gonna take care of their own kind. You never see that. I'm sick of this nonsense, man. This is Magic Negro crap, man. Leave me alone.
Now, Conspiracy Brother. Now, is there Tricknology in this? Now, what happened to Eddie Murphy and his career, where he waited? I'm sure he got sent scripts, dozens and dozens of scripts, to Eddie, please come back, please. Now he did this well below his going rate this movie, the whole budget for the movie was $8 million, which is, at Eddie Murphy's peak, he was making $20 million a picture. So obviously he took a pay cut so that he could star in this movie, which was originally titled The Chef, but I guess they thought that title was a little too close to The Butler. So they retitled it Mr. Church. And they got the director Bruce Beresford, who is best known for his Oscar-winning movie, Driving Miss Daisy, to be the director. Is there Tricknology, Conspiracy Brother? Is there Tricknology in Mr. Church? That's what the people want to know.
Come back, Conspiracy Brother. Come back. Man, I'm going to just tell you this. Eddie Murphy, this ain't nothing new for him. That's all he's ever been, and his biggest hits is a Magic Negro. You name it. Beverly Hills Cop, what is he doing? He's the only black brother around a whole bunch of white folks, and he's saving the day. Beverly Hills Cop, 48 Hours, he's a salt and pepper team. He got to be with some white folks to make his biggest money. When he go black, Harlem Nights, you don't see it make the kind of movie money that his other movies make. It's just Magic Negro. That's the only way they want to see us, as a noble Negro. When I say noble, I mean not N-O-B-L-E. I mean N-O-B-U-L-L. No bull. He ain't going to be no bull around the white girl. It's just like Denzel. Denzel doing the same thing. Just saving a whole bunch of white girls. Name the movies. Booker Eli. What's the other movie? The Equalizer. Name him. That's all they have these brothers do. All right. Enough.
All right. Okay.
Enough. Conspiracy.
All right. Okay.
Enough.
All right. Now. All right. So. Charles, I'll ask your opinion. All right. So. All right. Now, this movie, the critics that saw it in festivals and now this is not being released by a major studio, so a lot of distributors passed on. It's coming out from a company called Cinecon, but it's got a 35 out of 100 Metascore from the critics, but it's got an 8.2 ratings thus far on IMDb. So, apparently the critics don't necessarily like what they saw, but the audience that is anticipating it is really looking forward to this. And playing devil's advocate, this could be an Oscar for Eddie Murphy. Who knows?
Well, the thing is, what made Eddie a big hit was his endearing personality. You loved him, okay? Mm-hmm. What you have to realize about Eddie Murphy is the same quality you have in Denzel Washington and Sidney Poitier before the two of them. It's playing personalities that everyone loves, anyone can love. They don't see color. Eddie Murphy, in sports, you have LeBron James, you have Magic Johnson, you had Michael Jordan. The great scene in Spike Lee's movie, in Do the Right Thing, where he's saying, hey, you guys love these athletes, how come? There's certain people you don't see color. They become colorless. They transcend race. Eddie's, Denzel's, Sidney's, their greatest roles is because people do not see color. And that's what they're attempting to do in these films. In other words, here's just a man who, he's not seeing color. He's seeing people he's attached to, and he wants to take care of them. That's a human, on a human level. And in that respect, they're going to love Eddie for that. The critics may knock it because it doesn't have all of the elements of what they think makes a great film. But people on a human, universal level, they'll love it because they're going to see human relations, human drama, and they're going to be touched by it. That's what's happening, Mike.
Okay. All right. Now, we haven't done this for any of the other movies, but I want to take a minute to break down the trailer with you. If
okay.
That's okay. So, because a lot of people, when you say, like, we haven't posted the Magical Negro piece yet. A lot of people might not necessarily know what you mean when you say Magical Negro. But it is a trope that has been identified. So just briefly, what's your description of Magical Negro?
Well, Magic Negro is a term that was popularized. They credit Spike Lee, especially when he saw films like The Green Mile, where you have a black man with capacity to do such great things, yet he doesn't use his powers to save himself. It's usually to transform the lives or redeem white people. So they call it Magic Negro. Now, what is popularly known as a Magic Negro trope, before it became known as the Magic Negro, the popular term was noble savage. And the noble savage is where you have people of color who do not act the way the other savages act. In other words, they're civilized. They have some good qualities about them. They're people you can trust to do the civilized thing. And so you have Uncle Tom. You have Uncle Remus. These are your Magic Negroes. They become agents of change for white folks. They help raise or take care of white people. And you see them more in the milieu of whites than you see them taking care of their own kind.
Right.
So it's gone from noble savage to Magic Negro.
Right. Now, in this movie, it just seems like such a painful throwback, in a lot of ways. I mean, it's from Bruce Beresford, who, for Christ's sakes, he did
Bruce Beresford, who gave us Driving Miss Daisy.
25 years ago, Driving Miss
Yes.
Daisy. And he's coming back in 2016 with Mr. Church. So it just, in the criticism with Driving Miss Daisy, he's a typical magical Negro because, he's completely at the service of Jessica Tandy's character, Morgan Freeman, and you never get to see his interior life. Now, when we break down the trailer, it seems like there's a moment where they try to show what Mr. Church's interior life is about, but otherwise it pretty much hits all the tropes. So I'll play a little bit and then I'll ask you to comment. So let's replay and break down Mr. Church, and we'll point out the Tricknology, and then you can decide if you want to go see this thing or not. But all right, so here we go. We start again.
Henry Joseph Church could have been anything he wanted. He chose to cook. The key, he said, jazz.
Okay. From that moment, he could have been anything he wanted to be.
Yeah.
But he chose to help these white people.
He chose to cook. We've known some famous black cooks, right? Aunt Jemima and Uncle Ben. And through jazz, because I think one of the other things you're going to discover about Mr. Church is that he's a piano player as well. So here's two popular things they want to show blacks always can do: cook and play music. Those are popular stereotypes.
He's so mystifying. There's some magic thing about him that we don't understand. I mean, and it's being told, once again, another trope in this kind of thing is that it's being told from the point of view of a young girl.
Well, yeah, an adoring white girl, a little white girl. It's from her perspective, her POV in movie terms, point of view.
All right. Now, the screenwriter of this says it's inspired by true events, that there was a real Mr. Church. Just, I guess, but this sort of rings of The Help meets the Butler.
Well, this is based on a true story also.
Mm-hmm. So it's like The Help meets the Butler so far. And even though everything looks like it takes place pre-civil rights, this movie apparently is set in the 70s. So all the production design, everything makes it look like we just got out of slavery, and this guy is cooking. So, all right, moving on.
Good morning. I see you met Charlie.
Not officially. Morning, Charlotte. My name is Mr. Church.
When Mr. Church came into our lives, I wanted him gone.
I hope you don't mind. I bring books with me every place I go.
I hate reading.
But over time, I couldn't imagine life without him.
Mr. Church, I'd like to check out a book.
What kind of a deal did Richard make with you?
I was asked to cook for you and your child till you passed on.
Okay.
Well, here's another thing to realize. We don't have a lightweight director on this project either, Bruce Beresford. Driving Miss Daisy was a tremendous success. It's two people, um, different economic levels, different races, but it's. Here's the thing, and I'll make this point after we view the trailer, but it's relational. It's about the technology of cinema it's showing what I call promoting the illusion of inclusion.
Again, he could have been anything he wanted, but he made a deal that he was going to cook for this family. So
he comes into the life of these people as a consequence of what? I mean, how does he come into their life?
Well, apparently he made a pact with her dead husband that he would cook for the family, and then the mother gets sick, and he stays on.
Mm-hmm.
The mother gets sick and dies, and then he stays on to help take care of the 3 daughters. Should we move forward?
Yeah.
Okay.
And through it all, I never knew Mama was sick. I never knew anything until much later.
You are so beautiful.
Accepted to Boston University.
I'm so proud of you.
Why do you care? You won't be around to see it anyway.
My mama had been the sun to me.
She always accompanied
And Mr. Church, he was like the moon. Cool, calm, and always there.
Mom was like the sun.
It was, he's like the moon. The moon doesn't have its own light, right? But I always have this dichotomy of feelings when I see these films. On the one hand, I love the message that's being communicated, where people, they're not letting this so-called construct of race, they're not letting a racial difference separate them. And, she's saying, I couldn't stand him. And that's what prejudice is all about. You don't know someone. You prejudge. When you get to know someone, then whatever judgment you have, that's based on knowledge. And so from that aspect, I applaud movies like this. The Tricknology it's when it's on another level, when we're bombarded with so-called white savior, which is the counterpoint, and in this case, Magic Negro type films, where, as I said before, they're promoting the illusion of inclusion. In other words, in film, the reality is that no one's different. People are the same, and love transcends race. But in reality, you see, there's a whole different thing going on, and people aren't marching with placards saying Black Lives Matter for nothing. People, especially black men, are not being shot down in many ways unjustifiably, and being subjected to excessive force. This is not happening without a consciousness, without a subjective perspective of black men being animals. Mm-hmm. And so why is the reality one thing and cinema reality something quite entirely different?
Yeah, and I'm waiting for the day when you see a movie about a white guy who decides to move in with a black family and cook for them for 20 years.
Years ago, these kind of movies were popular. Have you ever heard of the Mr. Belvedere series?
Yeah. Yeah, it was a TV series and some movies, yeah. Mm-hmm. About the British guy.
So, I mean, you didn't have that politic about it. Mr. Belvedere, someone who comes in and he helps transcend the environment of a home based on his personality and the thing he infuses and changes. It gets people to look at things differently. But here's the thing: when you have a black man or a black woman in a film, because race has taken on all of the accoutrements of what is attached to race, You can't see blacks without seeing all of these things. Could I make a quick point?
Of course.
Officer and a Gentleman, Lou Gossett's role, that's a Magic Negro. Okay? That role was not written as a black character. Lou Gossett went after that role. I think I told you this before. He went after that role, and the director said, you know what? Having Lou Gossett play the part will add something different to it. Now, after Lou Gossett gets the role, everything that he does is viewed differently from a prism of seeing him as a black man than it would be if it had been cast with a white man. You understand what I'm saying?
Right, but this character was written as black. Originally, Sam Jackson was going to play the role, and he dropped out. It was going to be Sam Jackson and I think Uma Thurman as the mom, and Sam Jackson dropped out, and Eddie Murphy took over the role. So it was always imagined as a black character.
But then again, it's because it's based on a true life incident, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So breaking down the magic.
So the circumscribed historicity is there.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So let's move forward.
Turn down the lights tonight. Moon's off.
What's gonna happen now?
That you can call Boston University and tell them that Charlotte Brooks will be attending.
It's funny how life has a way of moving forward.
I thought by now you'd be a very serious novelist.
I guess you could say we were lost after Mama died.
What are you doing?
Oh, I'm just...
Okay, now you got to go.
Sorry.
One rule and you break.
What is it with all these secrets and lies? I just wanted to know you, Mr. Church.
It was her dream to go to Boston University, and after the mother died, they didn't know what was going to happen. Somehow, Mr. Church magically comes up with the money that she needs for tuition.
Yeah, it's something that I mean that when you finally put up the discussion, the full discussion of the Magic Negro that we did, I don't know in the editing if we're going to show the scene where we had the black slave who was freed and then willing to sell himself into slavery to get money to help pay the debts of his former white masters. I think of that when you see how Mr. Church can come up with the money to help her pay tuition. Where'd that money come from? You know, the brother found a way. You know, I guess we could play Brother's Gonna Work It Out. You know.
Brother's gonna work it out. Brother's gonna work it out. Brother's gonna work it out. Brother's gonna work it out.
As I said before, in film, because of the politics of the box office, now, you know, they just can't just summarily just step on us anymore. They have to pay some attention to how they show us in film, because we make up a large part of the box office. But the thing is, to navigate what is called the binary, the black and white relationship, for the most part, you're either going to get the trope of the Magic Negro or the counterpoint, which is what?
The white savior.
The white savior. Okay? So, and these are appellations that are applied because of how the black is played against the white is played against the black, you know? They'll either call it Magic Negro, white savior, or you'll have another category, subgenre, the salt and pepper, where you have the kind of roles that you had with Lethal Weapon, 48 Hours, where you have the black and white action teams. You follow? But it's navigating the binary and how that's worked out. And so in this particular case, the trope is more of what we call Magic Negro.
Okay.
If you have a Conrad, that's what?
White savior.
white savior.
All right. So now I want to bring Conspiracy Brother out for the last piece. All right. So nowhere in this trailer, and I'm looking through the credits of this movie, I don't see any black women in the cast. Now my eyesight's not good. I don't see. Maybe not everybody has a picture, but it doesn't appear that Eddie Murphy has a love interest in this movie, and the scene, it depicts the girl going into his room and trying to go through his drawer to find out, apparently to find out something about his personal life, and he ushers her out of there yelling and screaming. Conspiracy Brother, what's going on here?
Well, let me get him. Come here, brother. Here they go again, man. You know, I don't know if he's got a black girlfriend, or I'm quite sure they're not going to give him a white girlfriend, because usually what they do, if you look at most of these films with black brothers, Denzel, in this case, Eddie Murphy, you look at most of Eddie Murphy's movies, they make them asexual. That's why I call it no bull, not noble, N-O-B-L-E. It's no bull, N-O-B-U-L-L. They don't want no bull around their white girls, so they're gonna desex them. They did that with Sidney Poitier. They desex the black man. They always do that. They don't want no strong black sexuality on the screen. You understand me?
Mm-hmm.
Thanks,
now,
Conspiracy Brother.
Now wait, Conspiracy Brother. Now what about this? Like he's all entrenched in their lives, but when she makes an effort to find out a little detail about his life, he pushes her away. How does that serve the script, the story?
Well, all I can say is it's all a part of the game. It's not about him and his life outside of them. It's about him and his life with them. That's the main thing. That's the most important thing. For him to have any value, it's his value to them. You understand?
Well, I think so. I mean, basically what you're saying is, like, if we get any inkling that he is a real human being and not this magical moon, so to speak, then we have to really consider the weight of the whole situation. Why another human being would give up 20 years of their life in service of this white family.
The trope, to really flesh out the trope, to really make it a Magic Negro, they almost make it like it's some genie pulled out of a bottle with no past, and the only time you deal with him in the present is when his whole life is involved and revolving around whoever pulled him out the damn bottle. His life doesn't matter. The things that look like him, the things that should relate to him, it has no value to him. His only reason, his only raison d'etre is for being an agent of change, redemption, transformation for the white person. That's it.
All right, thank you, Conspiracy Brother. All right, so moving on, and we see that when her dream is to go to Boston University, money not there, suddenly it magically appears. She's able to go to Boston University, but then there's more conflict.
But wherever life takes you, and no matter how hard it gets, you can always find your way back home.
Surprise! Aren't you gonna ask me how it happened?
I know how girls get pregnant, Charlotte.
Come on, Charlie. You can't go living with your cook forever.
My cook? Richard set aside enough money for Mama to live 6 months. Do you know who paid all of our bills all those years after that? Mr. Church. He saved us.
Do you have a place to stay?
She lives with me. You gave me the most important thing life can offer. It gave me a family.
So I guess that was a fair trade.
Magic Negro. Magic Negro. Here's the thing. What did I say? The whole thing, it's if we can show movies where we can navigate that binary, the binary is black and white. If we can show in the relation how one has value for the other, that's what we're showing. One has value for the other. But in this case, it's more of the black sacrificing his or herself for the good of the white. Classic example, we can go back to 1934, Imitation of Life. Maybe that's a great title for it, The Imitation of Life, because the person who didn't really have a true life from a black perspective was the old black cook, who didn't care about her life at all. The only thing that was important to her was taking care of the white woman. People should look at that film. As long as she could rub the white woman's feet, she didn't care about leaving and having her own home. She could be in the basement apartment, as long as she could take care of the white woman, even at the sacrifice of her own daughter. That's the image they want to project. That's the image that we're being sold on, and that's the Tricknology. That's the danger of film. That what they're giving us is this image of blacks who have this enormous sacrificial love for whites. That's the main message they want to get across.
It's revealed in the trailer that he's been supporting the family, for years. So then, the question is like, where is he getting the money to raise these two girls if he's spending all his time cooking for them?
Well, one of the key ingredients of a Magic Negro is what? Being sacrificial. He must be sacrificing something. Not taking care of himself or doing without for himself to satisfy the needs of this adopted family of his. And here's the thing also. The most important thing he says that he got was what?
A family.
A family. Oh my God. You see, that's what upsets me. That's what's going to upset a lot of people, is that when they do pictures about the Native Americans or any other people of color, they're willing to turn on their own people because the only family they really can love more than any other family is this white family. They want to be among white people. That's the message that a lot of people get upset with.
Also, he provides all the pieces of family without the contention. He's a continuous source of unconditional love to this girl Charlotte. There's no sexual tension, although it's hinted at. Where she has to defend him, like, he's more than a cook. He supported us when we were in need, and but she comes home pregnant, and there's no argument. It's just gives her a hug. So it's a source of unconditional love.
Yeah, unconditional love. It's not. When we talk about Magic Negroes and noble savages is not something applicable just to black men. Tonto with the Lone Ranger, that's a noble savage. Chingachgook, and the Last of the Mohegans. These sacrificial men and women of color, as we spoke about in Imitation of Life, people who are willing to give up what is true and dear to who they really are for someone else. That's the message.
Right, and I will take back. We did see a shot of him alone smoking a cigarette, so there is a shot of his internal life that they try and show. But all right, so moving on. So that's the end of the trailer. He gets to age in the film. I mean, I really feel like on a certain level, he must have seen this as Oscar bait. You know, it really, to me, it looks like, you know, this doesn't happen if The Butler and The Help weren't big success.
Let me just say this about Eddie Murphy. I was just talking about Eddie Murphy with my brother Barry, who knows Eddie real well. Had conversations with him. Eddie Murphy has had the opportunity to do some great things, unprecedented for a black man in Hollywood, okay? And he turned down the opportunity. There are a lot of films he turned down. He had the property, The Fences. He turned down the role in Rain Man. I don't know if you're aware of that.
No, it wasn't.
Huh?
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, he turned down that role. Roger Rabbit, he turned down that role. And Eddie's got some chops, acting chops. I mean, we saw that in Dreamgirls. This film may be, we don't know, we haven't seen it, but this may be another instance where he has the opportunity to show those chops. But Eddie really didn't take advantage of everything that was presented to him in a career. You know, he was Mr. Paramount. He made billions of dollars for Paramount. And, I mean, he was Mr. Box Office. I mean, you're talking about someone who really laid the groundwork for what was offered Will Smith years later, you know, in terms of big money and maybe for a little while Denzel Washington. Eddie was the man, but he just was not smart with his career. There's certain things that motivated him, and it wasn't about the role as much as it was about the cash, and that's the tragedy of it.
Hollywood has hit a recession, and you know, nobody really is getting $20 million as salary anymore to make anybody's movie. And I mean, just going through his filmography, if you discount the Shrek movies, you know, since Dreamgirls, well, you go back to 2006, the last 10 years. Dreamgirls, which got him an Oscar nomination, but after that, you have Norbit, Meet Dave, Imagine That, Tower Heist, 1,000 Words, and now Mr. Church. You know, so, you know, none of these movies have made any money. Some of these movies he even refused to promote. And so now we're in a position where, you know, I'm really not sure what the motivation is, but even if this does demonstrate great acting ability, it's just such a painful role. I don't think audiences today really want to deal with that, especially if you're talking about the current political climate. Nobody really wants to see black people in a form of indentured servitude to white girls. You know, I mean, I certainly don't. I know most of the people listening to this, they're well beyond that type of image, and yeah, to think that you know, 5 years went by between films, and this is what he chose to do, just makes me wonder, you know. So I honestly can't say that I'm looking forward to this, and you know, at best, I would say that this is a complete waste of talent for Eddie Murphy, because I do love Eddie Murphy still to this day. I know he's really talented, and I really question the motives of for him to even make the film, unless it was just about relationships or working with Bruce Beresford. This is just painful. The fact that this movie is going to be coming out soon. So.
Well, I'll see it for historical reasons. As Jesse Jackson say, Will you see it for historical reasons or hysterical reasons? But no, I'll
Well, yeah, I go see everything, and but I just know I'm not going to like this just because it's just the setup. It's just going to be very painful. In 2016, when Driving Miss Daisy came out, it was painful enough. I just feel like we're past it.
I mean, Driving Miss Daisy is on the plus side, that's about human relations.
It's a good movie.
Are people.
Yeah, I mean, Driving Miss Daisy on its own merits is a good movie. It's a reason why that play comes back over and over again. But at its core, it's reinforcing a certain class and value system and structure that, as you say, is it's damaging, and it's a very safe place to position black folks. So, I mean, to me, when I see Mr. Church, it's really no different than Driving Miss Daisy, and it just seems like we should be a little bit further ahead in terms of these types of depictions if we're talking about 25 years later.
And that's the word I didn't even use. You just used the word safe. And that's what the Magic Negroes, Noble Negroes, that's the image they want to project of blacks, that they're safe.
Right. So, I don't know what the solution is. I mean, the equal problems with Secret Life of Bees. I mean, anytime when you have stories about black people that are told through the point of view of a white girl, it's just something I'm not really interested in. But
here's what's interesting: the anomaly. The popular image is of the white saviors and the Magic Negro, where the binary has been navigated, where we have this relationship between the black and the white that's on a level where there's respect and value seen one for the other. Now this film is coming out, Mr. Church, which is a popular image, a popular trope. And what did we just talk about? The anomaly of the not the noble savage and not the safe black, but the Nate Parker film of Nat Turner. That's an image they don't want to project. That's the anomaly, you see? And that's the kind of film everyone is anticipating because it's so unique. Right. It goes against the grain of these popular safe Magic Negro types. And so that's interesting that in this conversation we're having tonight is discussing two films presenting two very antithetical images.
Right. Last thing I'll say, I mean, it's just painful that it's Eddie Murphy doing this shit because, I mean, this is the kind of thing back in the day, 25 years ago, 30 years ago, Eddie Murphy would be making fun of a movie like Mr. Church, and now he's the star of it. I don't know if you remember this bit.
White boys get all the Oscars. It's a fact.
You know that, but look.
Did I get a nomination? No, and you know why? Because I ain't playing none of them slave roles or get my ass whipped. That's when you get the nomination.
Kid, that's what
Black dude play a slave role, get his ass whipped, he get the nomination. The white boy play an idiot, they get the Oscar. Maybe I should find me a script as a retarded slave, then I get the Oscar.
Oh, I'm gonna schmooze. I'll be right back.
Yeah, go find that script. Buck the Wonder Slave.
We talked briefly about if Mr. Church has a girlfriend. They want to play that angle down, the sexuality thing down. Because when you're talking about a black man around white girls, now you're raising the issue, the scary issue. Because it's always been about the black man's sexuality. I've already discussed that, So with the 3Ds, black man's sexuality, that's always been the scary thing. So when they put the Magic Negro in these films. He's got to be someone that you don't even think he's going to be wanting to get down with this girl, this white girl. You know, the way he conducts himself, he's that safe Negro. Oh, he's wholesome. What Eddie Murphy said, he's wholesome. He's seen as wholesome. He's seen as someone virtuous. That's the whole thing. The noble Negro, what I call no bull. There's no bull about this boy. That's the image they want to project.
I wish we could get in the time machine and get 1987 Eddie Murphy to come back and do a monologue about 2016 Eddie Murphy and Mr. Church. That would be hilarious.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Well, thanks again, and that'll do it. Thanks again, Charles. It's been fun.
It's been fun, and thanks for my alter ego, Conspiracy Brother, also.
Yeah, where's Conspiracy Brother? He's gonna say goodbye.
Conspiracy Brother, say goodbye. Goodbye, everyone.
That was horrible. You sure? You just say it was your alter ego. Okay. Well, all right. We have. All right.